Hey everyone, it's been a minute. You've probably seen other videos from me, but nothing pertaining to either the JW organization or anything religious in quite some time, right? Probably almost a year, right? If I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, I just wanted to touch on something that wasn't specifically for the Jehovah Witness organization, although I guess it would be mainly for that, because that's probably the only religious organization that I know. So it's primarily towards them and their thinking, but also it bleeds out into other religions and other gods as well. One thing that I always wondered, being closely affiliated, never baptized to the Jehovah Witness organization, is that Jehovah God knows of everyone, right? Everyone living, dead, dead a long time ago, will be dead in the future. Anyone that has ever lived on earth, Jehovah knows about these people, right? Now, let's just speak about the people living currently. So, Jehovah knows of everyone. Now, what the Jehovah Witnesses teach is that they try to recruit people to come to know Jehovah. Why? Because of the promises of paradise and resurrection, and also the life that you would be leading now, the life that you would be living now. It's a good life. It's the best life, right? And put that in quotes. The question, let's go to the more important thing, and that's resurrection, where you go after you die, paradise on earth. Let's jump over the good life that you would be living now, and let's just go to the most important. How cruel would Jehovah, or any God would be for that matter, if you are aware of a person, but until that person becomes aware of you, they're out of the will. They're not in the insurance policy. Can't do nothing for you, man, woman, or child. Until you get to, I know of you, but until you get to know of me, you get no benefits. You're not on my dependent list, right? There's no tax credit for you. There's no, when you fill out taxes and you get the thing for the child, right? You ain't getting that. You ain't getting that. No benefits. Because even though I know of you, you haven't come to know me, right? That's the first part. Second part is, does your ending change because you didn't know of me? Because you haven't become aware of my existence, right? Or you grew up in a certain part of the world where everyone in that region, in that hemisphere, worships a God under a different name. You're not getting any benefit. So, does the paradise change? Does a resurrection change because you have the knowledge of it or you don't? Meaning, let's simplify this. If I have no knowledge of the resurrection, is that still hope for me? So, if you say, you JWs out there, no, you haven't come to know Jehovah, you haven't come to know Jesus, you haven't, that resurrection is not for you because of the knowledge that you gain. So which means that the knowledge that you have dictates the life that you have thereafter. So it's not so much a promise, it's not a gift, it's the knowledge that you hold. It's a question. It's really a question, not rhetorical. It's a question, like, okay, you walk into a grocery store and you know how they ask for your number, right? Do you have a number with us? And when you put that number in, then you get the discounts. But if you don't give us your number, or I don't ask for that number, then you pay full price. I would have a problem with that. I would have a problem with that policy. That's why a lot of times I'll wait until the end when I'm checking out and I'll say, are you going to ask for my number? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. What was your number? And then I'll give them my number. But I say to myself, through ignorance, through naivety, is it naivety? Naivety, being naive. Through lack of knowledge, I don't give them that number, then I'm penalized for it? I got to be penalized? I got to pay $16 for a thing of ice cream that if I would have gave you my number would be $3.99? You didn't give me the number, so yeah, you got to pay 500% more. And, it sounds funny, but it was something that I always, at a young age, equated with the JW organization. It's like, okay, so the people that, let's say, have good intentions, they don't like to hear that argument, right? Well, what about the good people that just didn't come? Well, that's why we go out and preach to everybody. So your eternity, or lack thereof, is based on me, and if I come across to you the right way. God ain't got nothing to do with that. It's me. I have your life in my hands. Meaning that if I come up to somebody and I'm real flirty with them and, how you doing? We're coming from the organization of Jehovah Witnesses. And by the way, you are a very beautiful woman. And let's just say that turns that person off. Then I just affected that person's resurrection, or their life after death, their relationship with God. I turned them off. She was like, this guy is a creep. I don't want to talk to any other JW again. I got that much power. No, you don't. Because ultimately, and y'all hear this one, right? Ultimately, Jehovah has the final call. Jehovah has the final say. So which means that Jehovah has the final say regardless. God has the final say regardless. Right? It's not based on whether or not I'm gaining that person. Huh. Okay. Thank you. It's so crazy, and this is not scientifical theory and mathematical equations that only philosophers or Einstein can think of. This is a normal question or debate or conversation. And if you can't answer it in a correct way, which is from the heart, don't open a book. Please don't, because you can, I don't know how many pages are in the Bible or Quran or anything. You can find anything that applies to your argument, to justify your argument. You can find anything. I can pick any one of my rap songs and through argument, if I was, trying to debate something or justify something that was just absurd, I can pick any lyric and say, remember when I said I came from the basement but got keys to the penthouse? The penthouse is metaphoric for the brain, because the brain is at the top of your being. It's the highest point, right? The basement is your feet, your toes. Now, you got 5 toes, hopefully. That implies the apartments that are in the basement. You see what I'm saying? You can apply anything to anything and try to make it make sense. And at some point, somebody has to call you out on the BS and say, no, you're not going to do that. No, because the thing is, somebody can interpret that particular lyric in any way. People apply it to their lives according to what is needed in their life at that point. And I get people say that to me about songs that I did. Oh, I get it. You're saying this. And it's like, yes. And then another person say, you know why I relate to that song? Because it's speaking about, and I'm like, yes. And another person say something else. It's like, yes to everybody. Because if it applies to you, then it's right. Then that's the definition of it. Whatever applies to you. And that's the beauty about scripture. It's like it applies to you. I mean, certain things are cut and dry, but certain things are just left up in the air. Whatever applies to you at that particular time. But no, there are people that like to hold on to it and say, this is what it is, and this is what you have to conform to. No, not going to happen. God is much bigger than that. And I give God more respect than that. This is what it's about, love. That's my new line, my new apparel. I got hoodies, I got t-shirts, I got sneakers, I got sheets and pillow slips, I got shower curtains, I got socks. This right here, love. You can ask me for the link where you want to order, and would be greatly appreciated. And if not, then still appreciate it, because it's more about you than about that. But it's more about that than even you. Love.